Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a 500-piece limited edition from 2019 that pays tribute to a limited run of Blancpain aviators chronographs made in the late 50s with the intended customer being U.S. military aviation. This timepiece is very true in detail and size to that original. That watch would have been 42 millimeters. This one in steel is 42.5. It's 14.1 millimeters thick. It is 51.2 millimeters from lug to lug, and it has a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. The timepiece is broad and substantial. The original must have looked huge back in 1957. Even today, it's a full-figured, full-sized, modern men's sports complication on the wrist. My wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference, gives a good sense of the timepiece's overall size, and I'd say wrist down to about 15 centimeters circumference, you're going to wear this watch well, and it's going to look proportional. It's not a super thick watch, but nor is it thin. It's going to be fine with the jacket cuff, just not the tightest of dress shirt sleeves. Now, taking a quick look at the hardware and the software, again, true to history, aviator style strap, light brown leather, a little bit of a rusticated, distressed look, a contrasting stitch, bolstering to give it thickness and volume, sheer cut sides showing the layers of leather, a more conventional calfskin on the bottom, and then a simple polished Blancpain pin buckle for quick adjustments. The case band, like you'll find on a lot of watches such as the Speedmaster Professional and the Breitling Navitimer, anything that's drawn from a historic model, either directly or in tribute, generally has a thin mid-case, and this was characteristic of mid-20th century sports watches in general. Sheer, polished, with blended lug profiles. You can see the lugs are squared off at their end. They have a little bit of a transitional bevel on their flanks. There is a very sharply knurled, bi-directional aviator-style bezel. The bezel does have lume, and it does have a ceramic insert for scratch resistance. It glides in both directions like a vintage bezel. It has absolutely no detents, making it super precise. You can always align it with any reference point on the dial. Now, the hands are gorgeous, being white lacquered with a semi-syringe taper at their ends. And then we have a tachymeter scale outboard. Everything here is printed white on black, and it is a very, very faint black sunburst dial. You can only see the sunburst graining in the direct light at a certain angle. The tachymeter outboard allows you to gauge the speed of an object over, for example, a kilometer, by using the chronograph. Vintage evocative, we do have that ecru simulated patina or fauxtina coloration to the lume, as well as the bezel inserts, and then you can see that the sub-registers are slightly countersunk into the dial. It is a no-date dial, very clean. I particularly like the font used for Air Command and flyback, and then you can see the calibrations at 3, 6, and 9 minutes on the chronograph register, because historically, back when the original would have been made, long-distance calls were billed in 3-minute increments, so it was thought important to allow the owner of the watch to track 3, 6, and 9 minutes, because back then, long-distance calls carried a significant price premium. You're about to see the turn of the chronograph minute. You can see this caliber 388 is a semi-instantaneous jump. There is a hacking or stop seconds function, vintage style pump pushers, and what sets this watch apart mechanically from a lot of Blancpain chronographs is that it's based on the F385 that arrived in 2014 on the Bathyscaphe chrono. So while the architecture is distantly drawn from the famed and Blancpain in-house 1150, originally Frédéric Piguet, today Frédéric Piguet is manufactured Blancpain. A lot of chronographs from Vacheron to Breguet to AP have used that movement. This movement is exclusive to Blancpain. It is the 388. Now, the 388B, automatic winding with a lovely wood motif rose gold rotor and a white gold mass outboard. It is an automatic winder with a 50-hour power reserve and El Primero like 36,000 vibration per hour rate. Things that can do the 1185 cannot do. First, it's got a high beat. Compared to the 21.6 rate of the 1185, this is 36,000. Second, the 1185 does not have hacking seconds. This one does have a stop seconds function for halting the balance and halting the time. The 1185 has a balance cock, single-sided. This has a dual-anchored balance bridge for better shock tolerance. The 1185 does not have a silicone hairspring for anti-magnetism. This does. The 1185 does not have a free-sprung balance. This does. I should also mention the watch brings back the best elements of the 1185, including column wheel function actuation. And you can see there is a column wheel. and vertical clutch engagement. So thanks to the vertical clutch, there is no jump or stagger when the chronograph starts. Again, thanks to the vertical clutch, you can just leave the chrono running full time if you so choose, with no hazard, wear, or tear to the movement. Now that's what the vertical clutch does. The column wheel makes the actuation crisp, and like the original Air Command, this one features a flyback function. The original movement in 1957 would have been a Valjoux 222. This is, of course, the 388B in-house, and it is a remarkably beautiful 35 joule movement adjusted in 6 positions, not the chronometer standard of 5, so inaccuracy and imprecision has no position in which to be hidden on the test bench. You can see the bevels are a mile wide. The locating pins for the bridges are black polished, as are the screw heads, which are chamfered on their slots as well as their circumference. You can see there's a lovely spiral graining across the bridges that's a welcome antidote to the hackneyed and overused Côte de Genève. You can really see how broad these bevels are. This is a true hand-finished high horology movement, and while 30 meters water resistant, you do have a 50 fathoms for your diving activities. This one is for flying high. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. We're back with the Air Command, and you can see that the entirety of the bidirectional bezel has been fully loomed, so fully loomed for easy reading against the minute hand at night.